Hi, my name is Ryan Alsup, and I'm the new high school director at STEM School Highlands Ranch. So as the director of high school education, my role is multifaceted. I will work with teachers to ensure that they have what they need to be successful in the classroom. I also, here at STEM, we are expanding into the realm of athletics, and so I will also serve as an athletic director working with CHASA and with our various leagues to ensure that our kids have that opportunity to have a well-rounded education, both be able to participate in athletics if they want to, but also continue to push in the classroom. So I've been in education since the fall of 2000, where the first half of my career was spent in Douglas County School District. I taught high school social studies here at Highlands Ranch High School, and then I was a dean of students at Douglas County High School, and I served as an assistant principal at Ponderosa High School for a number of years. There I really got to dig into working with our struggling student population there, working with credit recovery models, and also the MTSS intervention stuff to make sure that our kids were learning what they needed to learn. At that point in time, I was able to spread my wings a little bit. I should back up and say I'm a Douglas County High School grad, so I spent most of my life in the school district at that time. And obviously I'm a Colorado native, but I decided at that point in time to go to Alaska, where I took over as principal of Juneau Douglas High School, and spent 3 years doing that. The amazing part for me there was just learning the culture and getting involved in it's a very rich Native culture there, but also finding ways to connect with our community at a much deeper level than I had to in the past, to make sure that we're providing what our students needed to be successful after high school. And so that was an amazing opportunity, and as much as I loved it, it's a rainforest in Juneau. It rained 300 days a year, so and also honestly, it's difficult to travel back and forth to visit families. So we came back to Colorado, where I went to Evergreen High School, and there I served as principal and athletic director for 5 years. Under my leadership there, we won the Blue Ribbon Award, which is the highest award you can get through the U.S. Department of Education for achievement. After that, I wanted to try something new, and I went to Doherty High School, where I've served as an assistant principal and have been able to, my role there was predominantly working within the intervention model, but also working with our counselors, special education, all of the different groups of people that to enhance the learning of our students and make sure they're prepared for life after high school. First of all, the biggest thing that excites me about the job is just working within the STEM model. Oftentimes in education, as I've trained new teachers and trained, veteran teachers even, one of the things I've talked to them about is that, students are truly able to learn the material when they demonstrate true learning, when they're able to take what it is that they've learned and use it in real world examples. But the hard part in a normal or in a neighborhood model is that's difficult to do in that traditional educational sense. And so I look at STEM and the fact that STEM by definition, right, blends science, technology, engineering, and math and brings them all together. It allows students that opportunity to be able to work on those projects and develop those things, to be able to demonstrate their true learning. And when they do that, they learn it at a much deeper level, and should be much more prepared for life after high school as a result of the model that we use here. And so that's what excites me about being here, is watching kids work through that. So I've often viewed myself as a coach. I don't, as an administrator, I'm still a teacher, but in this case, I work with teachers so that they can work with students. And so one of my favorite parts of this job is getting into the classrooms, watching what students are learning, but also providing feedback to teachers. And oftentimes the feedback is in a form of what I would call a thought to ponder. So I might be in there for 5-10 minutes, depending on the length of the observation. And and I can provide some very specific feedback, but also I tend to like to just pose a question to a teacher after I've been in the room about, hey, this, I understand where you're going with this. Have you thought about whatever that might be? And oftentimes those questions are designed to just get them to think a little bit more about their craft and what it is that they do. And honestly, some of our great teachers are like, yeah, I did think through that, and here was the answer. But other times it just leads to just further inquiry, the ability for them to reflect on their own craft and reflect on why they did what they did in that classroom or with that lesson, and just continue to build on their repertoire and become better teachers. You know, there's a lot I love about living in Colorado. You know, there's the typical answer, right? The being outdoors and, you know, the mountains and all that has to offer, which is very true. I also like the climate here. I mentioned earlier that I've lived in Alaska and the rainforest kind of got to me a little bit. So the fact that, you know, as the saying goes here, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. You know, that is actually something that appeals to me. Obviously, I like the weather and I like the climate and that type of thing here in Colorado, but more importantly for me, Colorado I've always thought of as a forward-thinking state. Just the fact that we have a charter school here, you know, the STEM school of Highlands Ranch, is something that doesn't exist in other areas of the country because of the fact that not all of the areas of the country are as forward-thinking and as open to providing additional educational opportunities for our students. And so that's something that I've really loved about Colorado, and it's, you know, obviously this has been going on here for a very long time, and something that is one of the reasons why I came back.